Welcome to Nelson's Mainland Television Regional News. I'm Rajat Agarwal. In the news today, the Nelson City Council is first to go sugar-free. Political leaders to address local government conference. The Zero Chief speaks at the unveiling of Gigatown office. Police concerned about fuel thefts in rural Nelson. And it was a beautiful day for the blessing of the fleet. Nelson City Council has followed the lead by Nelson Marlboro DHB, which became the first health board in the country to implement a sugar-free drinks policy. The Nelson City Council is now the first council in the country to do the same. Mayor Rachel Reese announced the new policy at the local government national conference held in Nelson this past weekend. Mayor Reese says it is now widely recognized by health professionals that sugary drinks are one of the major contributors to the problem of significant diseases such as diabetes and obesity, which are impacting our community today. Reducing consumption of sugary drinks and helping our young people to make better choices is a key strategy for improving health outcomes. She says we have put into place an internal policy at council workplaces which will see sugary sweetened drinks no longer available to be served or sold. Rachel Reese says that practice will follow for other council buildings and for the events they run. Community Leisure Management, which manages the council-owned Riverside Pool facility, has already taken steps to remove sugar-sweetened drinks from sale. And to further support this work, council is partnering with NELMAC and the District Health Board. Rachel Reese says the NELMAC water tank will be present at council community events, serving their excellent Nelson water free of charge. The 2014 local government conference is underway at the Rutherford Hotel, with 500 registered delegates having flown in from all over the country for the three-day event, which began on Sunday. Minister of Social Development Paula Bennett opened the conference on Sunday afternoon. On Monday morning, the borough breakfast session was fully booked, and at 9 a.m. delegates were able to hear the mayor of Ipswich, Paul Peacer-Sarley, speak about transforming towns and cities to build strong local economies and vibrant communities. Mid-morning, principal economist from the New Zealand Institute of Economic Research, Shamurbil Ibqub, spoke on the changing face of our regions, opportunities, and risks, followed by Rod Drury, chief executive of Zero, talking about factors that make Wellington-based Zero a global success. Later in the day, delegates were to hear from a range of speakers, including Borough Chief Economist Dr. Ganesh Nana, about the future economic thinking and how the changing of social and economic landscape affect our future. Delegates then moved into masterclass sessions looking at topics such as how do we engage our youth and transforming local economies through smart digital investment. On Tuesday, delegates will hear speeches from Lawrence Yuill, Prime Minister John Key, Opposition Leader David Cunliffe, and head of New Zealand ICC Cricket World Cup 2015, Therese Walsh. Now we will play you a short clip from the program.
But what I'm missing in most parts of New Zealand, I really had to think about what was the picture I would use for this. Most of New Zealand is dormant. We need a catalyst for change. There is so much opportunity through the regions and provinces of New Zealand, but I don't see enough leadership. I know you guys are working really hard on it, but we need one voice of what it means to be New Zealand. What is going to be the catalyst for change? Who's going to inspire us forward? Who's going to be the voice of New Zealand outside of Auckland and Wellington? Who's going to talk about your issues, your opportunities, and your progress? Well, it's not going to be the bank economists, is it? I've been very angry with them recently because I came out recently and they said that we shouldn't be raising interest rates anymore because it's going to really hurt the other parts of New Zealand outside of open housing. And the reaction from the banks was, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, actually, I do. I have been around New Zealand. I do travel, and I do talk to real businesses. And the third strategy is one that's going to make me new friends. These are the zombie towns. Do we have a strategy? Do we have a plan for places that are shrinking? Quite a few sharp intakes of breath there. I didn't name any names. Why did you think it was your region? But this is a real issue, right? We have to be able to talk about this, even if that is not the reality. We have to have the conversation about, if we're faced with decline, can we manage it gracefully? Can we still give opportunities to our people? Can we still manage it in a way that is the least disruption possible? If we can't have the conversation, you're not brave enough. It's not enough to say it's not going to happen. We can't bury our head in the sand that it's never going to happen to some places, because it will. And actually having a plan that's collective, that we share, that we believe in is going to be a good thing. Prepare one, just in case. But so often I hear solutions being offered. When I was on The Nation, the question was, oh, so what are we going to do? Well, if I knew that, we would have done it already. Yeah. It's not easy, because the solutions that are in front of us, more often than not, are very difficult to manage. And this is like a Sigma 6 thing. This is a very commercial process. It's essentially how much impact will it have and how much control do you have on any particular policy. Ultimately, there are only a vital few things that you can do that will actually make any difference. How much of what we're doing today is making that vital difference to economic prosperity in our region? I would say not enough. I think the opportunities are there for us to take it, but we must first agree what is success that we're trying to create within our region. The reason why you matter is absolutely critical. We know why government is there. Government's role is to either be, or both be, a catalyst and a filter. You stand in the way of between ideas and economic activity. You can promote good ideas, or you can stop them. And your job is absolutely to stop bad ideas, but sometimes they get through. The question is, what sort of government are you? Are you a government that acts as a catalyst, a promoter, a boost to the economy, or are you a council and a government that stops things from happening?
Police are very concerned about the number and frequency of fuel thefts from properties in the Nelson Bays area during the past few months, as well as the lengths offenders seemed prepared to go to. Between the 1st of April and 2nd of July, there were 50 fuel thefts reported from properties between Richmond and Motueka. The incidents have included offenders forcing entry into enclosed yards, siphoning industrial machinery such as diggers parked on the roadside, and siphoning from farm vehicles, farm storage tanks, and cars. Fuel tanks have also been taken from boats. The biggest single theft was 1,500 liters of aviation gas in a tanker taken from Motueka Airport. It was later recovered abandoned on Maisie Road, Appleby. In the most recent incident, police believe the offenders may have been disturbed by a property owner's dog in the early hours of Thursday morning while they were attempting to steal diesel at Hope. Cans of diesel were found hidden in a hedge, and the family's Labrador was found dead nearby. Sergeant Dave Prentice said police would like to speak to anyone who has information about people involved in this type of offending and anyone who has seen people acting suspiciously. He says that if it transpires that the death of this family pet has been the result of the offender's actions, I would have serious concerns about what the person or group of people might do next. Nelson has launched a new office to promote the ongoing Gigatown competition. Members of the community were in attendance to listen to keynote speaker Rod Drury, who spoke about the importance of emerging technologies. David Bryden set up the new Oculus Rift headset technology to give people a taste of what the access to GigaFiber could help do. Mainland TV's Chrissy Small caught up with Mr. Bryden to speak about this latest technology.
Well, we're here at the Gigatown office launch. David Bryden, innovative technology. I guess that's what you're into.
It is, it sure is.
This is an amazing thing. What is it?
This is the Oculus Rift, so the version we're showing today is the first development kit, so quite early days for the technology. And basically it's stereoscopic vision with a wide field of view which draws you in and gives you a sense of presence in a virtual environment.
So this is a 3D environment, is it?
Yeah, so the experience we're doing today is one of the earlier versions, which is a roller coaster experience, and we can get some quite interesting reactions out of it.
So do you build all the graphics, or do you have someone else design this for you?
So this one here is designed by a game developer overseas, I believe in the States. My project is going to be using the Oculus Rift, where I will be designing my own sort of environments, but it will be using different technology.
Okay, and so we've had a few people try it out today. Have you had anyone want to throw up?
No, but we've had quite a few screams already, and we'll probably get a few more.
So have you got a queue waiting to have a go?
It sure looks like it, yeah.
So David, how can people find out more about what you're up to?
So I'll be setting up a blog as part of my final studies at NMIT. I'll be advertising that on the kiwiar.co.nz website, and all my contact details are there as well.
David Bryden, thank you very much. I'm going to have a go at this. I've got my sick bag.
Excellent. All right, let's put you in.
Nelson has consistently moved up the Gigatown rankings, but recently had a setback, slipping from 2nd to 3rd place. I caught up with co-chairman of the Nelson Gigatown campaign, Matthew Dodd, to talk about what the community can do to help. Thanks for joining us today. Can you just start by talking about how you thought this opening went and how nice it is to see such a good turnout?
Yeah, it's great today to actually finally open the doors and have the building full. It's an exciting space that's going to be part of building a improved economy for Nelson, and really good to see so many people supporting.
And you mentioned Nelson was on the rise. They moved to 2nd place, but then dipped down. What can Nelsonians in the community do to get Nelson back up to 2nd and eventually to 1st?
Sure, so we want to keep activity going on Facebook with comments on the Gigatown Nelson Facebook page. We want to get people continuing to tweet, but critically we want to get people answering the quizzes that Chorus are putting on the gigatown.co.nz website. There are 1 quiz per month, and it's really important that Nelsonians get involved over the next week before July finishes, because if you're not in July, then we miss out on the chance of getting those big points over the next couple of months.
And what was the specific idea for opening this shop right here?
What we want to do here is make the Gigatown campaign visible and physical for the people of Nelson. We want to give a point of focus for the campaign, and we want to provide a place that people can come to learn about Gigatown, to provide support, and to do things like that quiz.
Cool, thank you so much.
Okay.
Both Nelson Mayor Rachel Reese and Tasman Mayor Richard Kempthorne cut a red ribbon to officially open the new office. The office is located downtown, right next to the Nelson City Council building. Each year, to signal the start of Nelson's main fishing season for hoki and scallops, a commemorative service is held at Seafarers Memorial on Sunderland Marine Pier and is called the Blessing of the Fleet. The event commenced with a fireworks display on Friday night on Sunderland Pier at 7 p.m. This involved around 10 minutes of colorful fireworks from a floating barge. It's understood that, likely due to cold weather, it was a disappointing turnout for the display, with only around 100 people. However, the next day, as usual, a huge crowd of thousands of Nelsonians gathered at the site for the blessing at midday on Sunderland Pier. This moving ceremony incorporates a minute's silence in memory of those who have lost their lives at sea and helps to strengthen the brotherhood of the sea between seafarers today and their forebears. Music was provided by the local brass band, male voice choir, and children from Nelson Christian Academy. Cadets lined the pier where the official party, including religious leaders, blessed the fleet and remembered those who were lost at sea. A lone bagpiper played Amazing Grace before the crowd observed a minute of silence. The service culminated with the collective blast of boat horns, and festivities began with the sail past of the fleet and demonstrations of sea safety procedures, tugboat maneuvers, and all manner of fishing-related activities designed to give the crowd some idea of the work of the fishermen. The ceremony has now become a highlight of the Nelson cultural calendar and has been taken to heart by the population, given Nelson's close association with the sea and the enjoyment that people get from the water-based activities. The Takaka Hills State Highway 6 is down to 1 lane just a few kilometers below the lime works. The slip is about 50 meters long, and about 1/4 of the road has fallen down the hill. The area is well marked with barriers at the edge of the slip. The area has 30 kilometers speed restriction, and it is understood it will take some time to repair. The Z service station in High Street, Motueka is currently closed due to maintenance work. New fuel tanks are replacing the old tanks that had been in the ground for over 30 years. The service station is undergoing a major refit with new tanks and pumps. We are told it will take approximately 2 to 3 weeks. After the break, we'll bring you the latest weather update and some events and happenings coming up from around the region.